Bring the meeting to order. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
First, oh no. Yeah.
All right, well, we'll do it to this corner. Pledge allegiance to the flag.
The flag. United.
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Might as well start it off with a whiz bang. Roll call.
Campbell.
Here.
Hutchinson. Here. Nish. Here. Madigan is absent. Zach Chemsky.
Here.
Turner is absent. Party.
Here. Okay, any announcements and correspondence? Any announcements and correspondence? No. Nope, we're good. Approval of December 3rd, 2025 Planning and Zoning PZB meeting minutes as presented. Everybody have a chance to read those?
Yes. I'll make a motion to approve, Mr. McCarty.
Well, thank you very much. A second. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye. All right. Do we have anybody sign up for public comment?
No.
Okay. Old business, there's nothing there. New business, PCB 2601, consideration and request for a text amendment and variance to the section of 1014-8 downtown sign district for relief to allow the petitioner the ability to construct wall sign excuse me, improvements using the alternate sign base material and containing no lighting element to an existing structure located subject property commonly known as 311 Depot Street, and the subject parcel is identified as 02-08-104-098. Like to present. Thank you.
Evening. What you have before you tonight is text amendment and a variation to the sign code. Currently, the sign code only allows two materials to be used for signage: wood and something called, well, it's a foam material. And no, it's
High density urethane.
yeah, HDU. Sorry.
Okay.
HDO, so it's a foam material. So it's unfortunate because many signs are made of materials not of foam and not of wood. The petitioner's here tonight. They have a sign they want to put up on the property 311 Depot, which is a shopping center right across from the metro station, and they want to use aluminum and something called polycarbonate. Both those materials are often used for signage. In this particular case, because he's not, or they are not using one of the two materials that the code says, they need to amend the code. So I can allow it to be used. So what I've done in the report is propose some language for the text amendment. They also want to put the sign up without any lighting. In this particular part of the village, lighting is required for all exterior signage. So they don't want to use lighting. It's very expensive for them to wire at this location of the building. So they're requesting a variation from lighting. So there's two things they're asking for. One is text amendment to allow them to use different material for the sign. And the second one is a variation from the code to not have any lighting, exterior lighting. And we do have somebody on it.
If anybody wants to speak on this item or issue, please stand up, raise your right hand, be sworn in.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Thank you. Please state your name, your address for the record.
My name is Aaron Hearn. I am the owner of Sign Around Libertyville, 304 Washington Boulevard in Mundelein. I'm here on behalf of the property owner. You guys have the images and stuff on your table, so you don't need the paper? Okay. Yeah, we are, again, just more structurally and also cost, given the size of the sign that they're looking to put in. A carved wood or HDU sign would be not conducive to their budget, just too expensive to make something that size. So we came up with a solution that is more in their budget range, but also still has much the same look. And it'll be far more durable, and it will actually stay up on the side of the building. The front facade of that strip center is just sheet metal. There's not a whole lot of support behind it. So to put up a 20-foot HDU sign or wood sign, it would probably rip right off the front of the building. So again, it's going to be the same type of look. It'll have a flat back with raised letters, very similar to what you would carve into an HDU. It's just a different material. Oh, I mean, so the lighting, there is no electrical run out to this site right now. The current sign that's there, now again, I don't have the history, it does not have lighting. It's just plastic form letters there. Again, they're asking not to have to bring an electrician to run a wiring out to that location. There's no electrical on that. For that particular store right now, there is no electrical on site.
So the location of this and that strip mall is on the farthest northern side?
Then, yeah, the north side, yes.
Thank you. Any questions? Ms. Sanfilippo?
Yeah, so I'm, quite familiar with the site. So the previous sign was not illuminated?
No, it's just plastic letters stuck in the
Okay,
building.
right. But they weren't lit up. I can't remember, and I know
There's
that
no
they,
ground lighting or gooseneck lighting or anything around them. It's just
okay,
letters on the side of the building.
right. And I understand, how they were mounted, and it looks awful, the way that it is
Mhm.
now, or it has
Yep.
been.
Yes.
Um, so, and I know that there's, from the previous mounting there. So will this sign, the new sign that they're proposing or that they want to put in, will it cover like the holes that are there from the previous,
Yes.
letters?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That was the only question that I had.
Carson?
Um, I drove over there today. There are other signs that have other
Yes.
materials. Were those before us? I know you're newer, so maybe you don't know, but
Pre everything.
pre the sign ordinance. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess I'm a little confused like I was last time. Are we editing this? Is this text amendment mean that this will be for all future signs too? Or are we just talking about this instance?
No,
It's
be
for
for
future.
all future signs. So the sign code right now only allows two materials to be used. In other municipalities, the aluminum is used all the time, and so is other plastics. The suggestion is that the sign code changes so that anybody who has a sign in the village can use these materials as well, aluminum, polycarbonate, or other materials.
We've already done these as a variance on other signs previously to this time frame. So now we're adjusting and doing a text amendment so they're allowed.
Anywhere in the village, is that right, Mr. McCurdy?
Yes.
Why did we do just wood before then? For
Well, back in the
consistency.
80s, 90s, we had actually a sign company that was located out on Route 45 that came to our village, and they pitched it, sold it, and it was used as a uniform sign for our village for many years. There's a lot of signs, including our signs that came in and out of the village, were produced by them. That's how it started. So as time has evolved and materials have changed, those signs the way they are and the way they're presented, and now with LEDs and other things. We have to change kind of with things.
But there are a lot
Update.
of signs in the village that have been approved that don't use those two materials.
Yes.
And theoretically, it should not have. Just saying. But that's what it says in the code. I'm just pointing out to you guys that instead of having people coming up here for variations all the time, just change it. It makes much more sense. It's rational.
Cleaner,
Should be done.
much cleaner.
Yeah, I guess just what I'm thinking about is like, I do, this is like Brittany loves her little town, right? Like I like the consistency of things in the town and I don't want to lose that. I want to say yes to you, just so you know, but like, because I do agree with San Filippo, it's like that sign has been falling off for many years. But I just like some continuous.
I think it was
like,
actually, Brittany, I think it was the snow. They were trying to clear the roof of snow and the weight of the snow like knocked the letters down or something is what happened actually.
Well, yes. I think just I like the continuous like materials that we use throughout the village to make it look nice, right? So that's the only other thing I'm thinking about here.
I think realistically, we have to look at the sign code in a whole coming up this next year so that we can dial it in a little better for everybody. But these two changes that we're proposing are not outside the realm and they're kind of needed.
Yeah, because again, I'm gonna say yes to this for you. I just have concern about having the village continue to look nice and that we don't have interesting signs pop up.
Mishmash of
Yeah.
signs everywhere. You get it.
Yeah.
But we've been doing variances constantly for the past 4 years, minimum 4 years, if
Yeah,
not
and
more.
I want to be like friendly to the businesses too, right? I don't want to make them do that all the time.
You've made comment about it before that why are we always doing a variance? So,
Yes, just have some guide rails that make sense. Okay.
agreed.
Done.
Agreed. So hopefully we can dial that in at some point this, summer, spring, whenever, and take a look at that as a whole, which would be great. Ms. Mish?
My questions have been answered.
Becker Chemsky.
I think mine have been answered too.
All right, I'm good on my end. Anybody else have anything to add to this subject from the public? All right, looking for a motion. PZB 26-01.
It's loading. Yes.
Second.
Hey. Roll call.
Sam Filippo,
Yes.
Clark Simpson,
Yes.
Mish, yes, Decker Chemsky,
Yes.
Hart.
Yes. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, next item on the agenda is PZB 2602, consideration and request of variance from section 1013 8-4, townhomes for the relief to allow the petitioner to the ability to construct townhomes project at the subject property known as 639, 647, 657 Main Street. The subject parcel is identified in the following property identification numbers is 02080 or 104 015, 0208 104 016, 0208 104 037, 0208 104 038, and 0208 104 095. You're up, sir.
Okay. It's a little more complicated. This is a townhouse project that's being proposed on North Route 83. Several years ago, the same property had townhouses constructed on it, as you, I'm sure you've noticed. Pamela Court, there's some townhouses up there. These are rental townhouses. This proposal is to construct townhouses on the balance of the property. Approximately 5 years ago, 6 years ago, there was a PUD that was approved for this subject property, for this very property that these townhouses are on. And that PUD was approved by the village, but the townhouses were never constructed. Because of that, the PUD is void. And so now the petitioner, the owner, is now coming back to request another townhouse development. Back when this was first approved in the PUD, there were numerous variances that were part of the project. Those variances have been are not recognized on this particular plan. For instance, the townhouses respect the setbacks that the code requires for the side and rear of the units, setback from from Route 83 and various other variations. For that reason, and there's one variation that they're requesting, and it has to do with their roadway and the fact that it does not surround itself, or it does not take into account the requirement for a open space or boulevard for the roadway. That's part of the code. Code requires that, requires a road that surrounds an open space, has a boulevard, that sort of thing. Other than that, there are no variations relative to this, but there is a site plan review requirement for the planning commission, and there's a requirement that the variation be considered for the roadway. There's 29 townhouses being proposed. These are, even though the report says they're for rent, these are for sale townhouses, so the residents will own these units. There is a full access being requested for Route 83. That's right opposite First Street. That access will have to be approved by the state of Illinois, as well as the village. And there's a landscape plan that's associated with this. There's engineering that's associated with this. The engineering is very similar to what was approved as part of the PUD. The design is very similar, but there are less units. The petitioners are here tonight for some questions. Do you have any questions for me?
Ms. Carson, any questions? Ms. Sanfilippo, any questions
So,
for staff?
so the entrance to the existing townhomes, is that going to remain in addition to the new proposed?
No, the access for the existing townhouses at Pamela Court, that is to remain. On a technical level, I don't think that the owner that the owner of this property owns those townhouses, although it could be incorrect. They don't. So on a technical level, that parcel has its own full access. This parcel, owned by a different entity,
Uh-huh.
is requesting a different full access. Not saying it's right or wrong, but from a ownership point of view, this property does have the ability to request an access just for it, and that's what's happening tonight.
So
So
the one on Pamela Court would remain, and then the new proposed access point, correct?
that's correct. That's correct.
As long as it's approved by IDOT.
Yes.
Okay.
Questions, Ms. Mish? Mr. Zakachimsky?
I have no questions at this time.
I have one question. Are the two townhouse, are they connected?
Yes, they are.
So they will be?
They will be connected.
Okay.
Yes, as you can see, there's a parking lot that they're proposing on the north side of their property.
I see. It just looks a
Yeah.
little
Yeah, there is a
convoluted
paving.
with the,
Yeah, there is a paving connection there though.
okay.
And you noticed, and I'm sure you've seen, but the townhouses on Pamela Court are angled
Yes,
in a certain direction.
yes.
Will that be a shared parking lot for both?
Technically, no, but I assume that if you're in Pamela Court and you see an open parking spot there, you might use it. The driveways on this proposed project are longer than they were on Pamela Court. Pamela Court's driveways are way shorter than these. That was one of the requirements that staff had of this project, that the driveway would be long enough, definitely for a full-size car.
One of the other items, previously was, fire department, turn lanes in and out, access. Are we gonna have enough ability to take care of, these townhomes if something happens?
I believe so. You can drive in and then you can do a 3-point turn. There's no cul-de-sac, but there is a turn at the end of the roadway that has parking in the middle of it.
The fire department still has to review this?
That's correct. Given the fact that they approved Pamela Court without any sort of turnaround,
Right.
I'm assuming that this is going to be sufficient for their needs.
Yeah, it's looking sufficient. Just the only thing I'm questioning is the turn in and the ability to get out of for a fire truck on those turn lanes going into the parking areas in front of each of the townhomes.
Mr. McCarty, was it around like 42 feet wide or something? Is that what you?
Engineering would pull that up and they would submit it, so it would show it. We just need to make sure that the fire department is okay with it.
Right.
Making public comment about it at least triggers the fact that we're looking into it, making sure that we're dotting our i's and crossing our t's. I fully expect the first fire district to, review this and give us their blessing, or they'll have questions. So, is there anybody from the audience who'd like to speak for or against this? And if you do and would like to, please stand up and be sworn in, unless you've been sworn in before. Paul. Raise your right hand. All right, please state your name and your address and maybe who you're with.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I'm with RWG Engineering. Address is 975 East 22nd Street in Wheaton, Illinois, 60189. We are the site civil engineers for the proposed development. As was previously mentioned, those townhomes, 2 buildings, 10 units on Pamela Court were built in the early 2000s. That was considered phase 1. There was supposed to be a phase 2, which is this property that was never built at that time. The phase 1 development is incomplete. There's a dead end road, there's a dead end water main, and there's no detention. That was all to be provided with phase 2. So, back 5-6 years ago with the previous PUD approval, that was under different ownership than there is today. And that PUD plan, as Mark stated, was going in with a lot of variances, with setbacks and things like that. And now we've worked with staff to come up with a site plan that meets the codes for this district, with the one exception, because the size of the lot does not allow for a boulevard or open space that 1/3 of the townhomes would be surrounding. But outside of that one code, we've met all the setbacks and everything, and having the garages face, each other and not facing out to the street for most of the townhomes. The previous plan, all of the garages were facing the road. So that was a modification we made, and a reduction in the units because density was a concern. When we went in for this recent submittal. With this development, the improvements that will be made are now this water main will be looped, which, to have a dead end water main that long is a safety concern. So to me, that's a big bonus to now this water main will be looped. We'll connect onto the phase 1 water main and loop it around and make a second connection to the main on Main Street. detention will be provided for phase 1 and phase 2 in a wet mesic detention basin that's at the end of the street that will provide a nice buffer between the train tracks and the townhomes. There will be plantings in the bottom that promote infiltration, filter pollutants, things like that, in accordance with the Lake County Watershed Development Ordinance. So that will filter the water prior to it leaving the basin and, provide water quality benefits. Regarding the access points, back 5-6 years ago, we did submit to IDOT. We went through a couple of rounds of reviews with them, and they had no comments about, no concerns about having those 2 full access points. So we don't anticipate, any issues with that. And now it's 2 different owners, the 2 properties. And at that time, it was the same owner for both properties. So we don't anticipate issues with the access points, and we think it provides better circulation for fire trucks and emergency vehicles, having that looped connection.
Okay. Anyone else would like to speak? For or against? Either way. Please state your name and your address.
Hi, my name is Thomas Bossier. I'm the owner of 627 Main Street in Antioch, the property directly north of the existing townhomes. I'm generally for this. I think you guys have talked about, fire and emergency access. I will say that emergency access has been an issue in the past. There have been incidents at the existing property, and I'll have the fire commander in my driveway, which I'm happy to do, but would prefer not to. So looking forward to them having some extra space for things like that, and some improvements to the property.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to speak for or against? Okay, any further questions? Ms. Sanfilippo?
No.
Ms. Carstensen? Ms. Mish?
No.
Mr. Zakarczynski?
No.
All right, so I'm looking for a motion for or against PZB 2602.
I'll make a motion to approve PZB 2602.
Second.
Roll call.
Sanfilippo,
Yes.
Christensen, Mish,
Yes.
Zakarczynski,
Yes.
Ricard.
Yes. Thank you very much for your involvement and help. Appreciate it. Have a good evening. Looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
There. Aye. There we go. Thank you very much.